Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Crew Talk with your host, Just JB, aka Goldhead, and Chris Brandow. Brandow, how you feeling, man?
I feel good, man. Raw was a very interesting show the past couple of weeks, and this week especially, Punk's pipe bomb promo really, honestly, might be the promo not just of the year, of one of his best promo of all time.
Look,
Better than
man.
the original pipe bomb.
Wait, damn. Okay. I was I didn't expect. Wait, better than the original pipe bomb from
It's
2011? You think it was
I
better
put
than
it
the
up
original
there.
pipe bomb?
Dude, go back and listen to it. Just see, like, I don't know, man. I'm just saying, it's up there. It's definitely his best promo since he's been back, and we'll
I
touch
agree with
upon
that.
that later
Yeah.
on. But yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Road to WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw, CM Punk opens, and it's coming off of a very controversial segment from SmackDown, which we will get into. And let's just say that I feel like Triple H gave CM Punk clearance to go off. And that is exactly what CM Punk did. It was crazy. He took no prisoners and he was completely unfiltered and he just went the fuck off. And it definitely turned it up to another level, which is exactly why he did it. And that I know Roman wasn't there, but damn, that was pretty close to that was pretty close to a TKO. It
That's a good one.
It was pretty. Oh, right. Yeah. It was. Yeah. Pun intended there. Like it was pretty close to a TKO. Man, he came at The Rock. He came at Roman. He came at Pat McAfee. He came at TKO for the prices. He just was going off, and it's just Roman Reigns wasn't there, and Punk did a damn good job carrying the build for the feud, and he did his job. And he did his job, and he did it. He did it damn well. I'm very excited for the main event of WrestleMania. It was revealed today on ESPN's Get Up that as Brandel and I, we thought there might be a chance that Cody and Orton would have a shot to main event, but after what happened on SmackDown, nobody wants that as the night 2 main event. So it is a great job that it's a great job that Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. It's a good look. That is going to be the that is going to be the main event, the true main event of WrestleMania. Brando, what do you think about the latest with everything with between the two,
Whew.
especially after that crazy promo?
Well, the pipe bomb, second pipe bomb promo. So listen to that promo Punk cut last night on Raw. I think a lot of stuff was like, okay, you can say this. I don't think the ticket thing was something that he probably was clear to say.
I think they deleted
That
it,
was
man.
he just went off, and I love it because this is what I like about Punk. He doesn't give a shit. He said he's blown up bridges, but he knows how to swim. I love that line. He just doesn't give a fuck, man. He just doesn't. And I feel like with Punk and that pipe bomb promo, it actually raised a lot of questions too. What direction are they going with this in terms of the whole McAfee thing? And he mentioned McAfee and called him McAfee, which I thought maybe he shouldn't leave
Woo!
politics.
He
Maybe we
went
should have left politics
politics
out of it.
on Monday
Should have
Night
left that
Raw,
out of it.
Brandel. He went
Yeah,
politics on
I don't
Monday Night Raw.
I don't know about that one, but the whole McAfee thing, I love that he said like he's cashed a check, his ass can't cash, or
Yeah,
he wrote a check, his ass can't cash, something like that.
right.
Yeah, that's what I say it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what TKO is thinking here. I don't know if this is part of like a grand plan, and is this all part of the plan to begin with when it comes to including McAfee and Cody cutting that promo? I was one of Cody's. I think that was Cody's best promo since he's been in WWE was on Friday night.
Yup,
So
unscripted apparently,
so
according to
I
what they're
guess we
saying.
should rewind back a little bit with the reveal of McAfee and showing up and being everyone be like, what the hell? Like it didn't make any sense to us.
Let's rewind. Yes, it connects because the Punk promo was crazy, and his call of McAfee was because let's go a little bit back to SmackDown from last Friday. There has been all this speculation of who's the caller. Who's the caller? We were thinking maybe it's Ric Flair, maybe it's Cowboy Bob Orton, his father, maybe it's even Triple H. Maybe it's even, we were thinking like it would make sense if it was actually The Rock. But, I even saw rumors of actually Ted DiBiase Jr. Okay, they used to be in Legacy together. Okay, I get it. And then I can't even like say what, like, we're all watching and we just see Pat McAfee kick Cody Rhodes in the balls, and Pat McAfee cuts a actually the promo he cut I thought was pretty good, but it came from the wrong person, and it just
100%.
nobody it just didn't work. And
Well, here,
like people were in a meeting. People were together in a meeting and actually thought that this would work. I wonder if is there something with his contract? I read there could be something with his contract brewing. Are they desperately trying to get Randy Orton booed by having this happen? Because there's no way he was getting, booed. He's 100% going to get cheered the way it was looking. Now, is there some method to this madness? What do you think, man? Because it's just like that. It was the. Before you go on, I'm sorry. I just asked what you thought, but I apologize. I just have to say
it's
this.
all good.
We put up on a crew take on our Instagram, on our socials. That was me. I said, "Congratulations, WWE. You just surpassed Mr. McMahon as the higher power back in 1999 as the worst reveal I think I've ever seen in the last 27 years of watching pro wrestling. It was that bad to me. That was crazy, insane. And even at the time with Mr. McMahon, I don't even think it was viewed as that bad. But looking back on it, was like, all right, that was kind of like roll your eyes. It's him. This was just like by far though. Since that, I just even know what to say anymore, man. Awful.
So I'll try to be open-minded about this because this could be something that develops into something like we don't see coming. Like, oh my God, they really put this together. And I will say the one thing, it does have your ears perked up and more interested in the storyline now a little bit, even though because you're like, where is this going? What could this possibly be meaning? And then the Punk Cody cutting the promo after he came out and came back out, and then Punk cutting a promo on him as well. Why are they both going after him? To me, it sounds like it's personal. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, but with TKO, it's one of them things where it's like, okay, is the storyline going to be some grand plan where it's TKO versus like the locker room, where there's certain people TKO favors and they're going to make a storyline out of it, like Punk mentioning about Roman and being like the TKO like prodigy and talking shit on The Rock too because he runs TKO and
Right.
McAfee being like this TKO guy and then calling out the leadership of TKO and honestly that's not just The Rock, that's Ari, that's all them people, and especially after that debacle last year, come on.
Yeah. You mentioned Ari Emanuel. It's been leaking out that Ari Emanuel has been behind some of these questionable happenings in WWE. He apparently called The Rock, according to The Rock himself, ironically, in an interview with Pat McAfee after what erroneously happened last year at WrestleMania when he didn't show up and everyone flipped their shit, rightfully so, with no payoff at all. And we just got Travis Scott. He revealed that it was Ari Emanuel that gave him a call to go do the whole Elimination Chamber thing in the first place. And then fast forward, we hear that Ari Emanuel wanted Pat McAfee apparently to be involved. So through all the blame and through all the smoke, the common denominator seems to be Ari Emanuel. When we talked about this, Brandal, you said before that maybe there's too many cooks in the kitchen in TKO, and it sounds like could Ari Emanuel just be meddling in business he shouldn't be meddling with. Now they're making billions of dollars, they're making millions of dollars and everything like that. I get it. But, it's going to come to a head. It's already kind of starting to come to a head. I think fans are just kind of getting a little fed up. And a lot of wrestling fans, due to the accessibility of social media and just People are there's a lot of smarks these days. There's a lot of people that know they can't be fooled. That can't be that like their entertainment, but know the entertainment and what goes into it and what they're consuming. So I wonder if it's just too many cooks in the kitchen, and maybe Ari should just consider, should just step back and let Triple H and the other creative cook. Not to absolve Triple H because he's had a creative, as I said, but just a
Well,
thought there. What do you think?
so here's my thing. I feel like, you had the Travis Scott debacle, and that was all. I don't care what you say. I can't imagine Triple H thinking that was a good idea. I think his
Yeah.
hand was forced, especially when The Rock couldn't make it. And like The Rock said, Ari called him and had him come show up, and like they were like, "Well, what's next?" And it's like, well, if Rock literally told him, "Look, I can't make it. I don't know what else you want me to do," then that is a complete misfire on everyone involved in that part. The TKO, Triple H, whatever. But again, if Triple H is a yes man now to TKO, which I think he is, honestly believe he is,
Oh
because some of this
man.
shit that we've been seeing has been so different than what Triple H first started doing before TKO came over. It just doesn't seem right. It's things that aren't fitting right, in my opinion. So if he's a
Mhm.
yes man, he's just has to listen to what they say. He might have an idea, creative idea, and he might be like, "No, we want to do this, and you're doing this because we're TKO, and if you don't, you won't be employed with us anymore." It's very possible that they don't say it like that, but they threw hints at him that like that's the possibility of him, so he has to go along with it. You know who would be an interesting person to talk to?
Who?
Brian James, the Road Dog, and
Mhm.
because on Unreal, when you watched him in that meeting, you could see him visibly getting annoyed at his ideas getting shot down. Well, what are we gonna do next? And it's like, why are we going to do that? But they're not. He's like, because the fans want it. Like you give it to the fans. Like you don't have to give everything to the fans, but the Chelsea Green thing, it's like he's like, why don't we put the belt on Chelsea? She's not built for that. Well, is that coming from Triple H? Is that coming from TKO? Like, who's that coming from? It could be coming from
Right.
Triple H, but also some of this other stuff could be coming from TKO. We're like, no, we're not doing that. Sorry.
Sounds like there's
It's
could
kind
be
of funny.
yeah.
They
There could
got
be
rid
some
of R-Truth,
clashes.
right? Last
Yeah.
year, and everyone got up in arms, and then they bring him back and didn't know what to do with him. Now all of a sudden, the man is a tag team champion with
That's a good point,
with
Brando.
Davey Priest. Like, what? Okay, I'm all about it. It's a great, fun tag team, and they're going to be entertaining as hell. But here he is, and then now look where he landed. It's like, was this like something that just happened to just like fall into their lap? Did Triple H come up with this idea, or is this something that I'd imagine he did because they brought him back? But I know I'm a little all over the place, but it just makes you wonder who is calling the shots back there. Is it a mixture? Is it like Triple H has ideas and like the 90% of the time they'll let them run with them, but they're like, no, we want you to do this, and there's no buckle it. You need to conclude Pat McAfee somehow. I don't care how you're doing it. You need to include him. You need to include Travis Scott last year. It's like maybe his hand was forced and he had to figure that out, and it made him look bad because some of the stuff that we're seeing just doesn't.
It
Now,
just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not
if
lining
this
up.
is a way to make TKO look bad and they're developing a storyline where, you have these people like Roman, The Rock, McAfee, and maybe a couple other people that are gonna fall in line with TKO, and it's gonna be TKO versus like the guard of like Cody and
Locker
Punk.
room. Yeah, yeah,
That would
yeah.
be very outside the box. And honestly, that would be interesting how that whole thing would develop.
It'd be like a
So
modern day NWO versus
yeah,
WCW. No, I'm serious. That
yeah,
would be kind of like
to a degree, yes, but this
yeah,
is more of like the establishment, which is TKO, and the people revolting against it.
yes.
That would be it's starting like a revolution, but TK was in on it, but like, hey, let's play the bad guy. Why not? We can be this evil corporation, and everyone can just say screw it. Because now they may have done that by accident and just realized, why don't we make this a storyline? I think it would be interesting if they went down that route, but we'll have to see.
That would be too good to be true, Brando. That would be very entertaining, which
I
tells me
know,
that they're not going to do that.
but who knows? But here's the thing: why? Okay, the ticket price thing came up, right? It's like
Yep. CM
if
Punk with
Punk
the
didn't
ticket
have
prices.
clearance to say if Punk didn't have clearance to say that and just said it, great. I love it. I love it. But what if they're like, no, say about the ticket prices because we're gonna make this something to be a storyline about how TKO is evil or
Hmm.
terrible. I know I'm thinking way outside the box here, but sometimes you have to because I can't make any sense of McAfee being involved in this storyline at all. Randy Orton
Right.
doesn't need McAfee to tell him to be the Viper and attack Cody Rhodes. It
I
was
know. It
fine the
makes
way
no
it
sense.
was. I loved it.
Yep.
I wish they never did the film thing if that was the case. You're going to do that because everyone's like, oh, maybe it's The Rock, and it still could be The Rock behind this whole thing. By the way, if McAfee is being hired by TKO and it's Arian and it's like it turns out it's the Rock's behind all this, that would be amazing storyline telling too.
It
So
that would, as we said in past shows, that actually, I think that's why people maybe I think hang on to the. I think The Rock's done for a while, by the way, but I'll rock with this.
they've mentioned his
No
name a
pun
lot
intended.
lately, though.
They've
You
been
notice
mentioning him
that?
more. When he was around, he was saying this is a long game. He's back, but this is a long game. He did say that repeatedly
Hmm.
when he was the final boss 2 years ago. We also know, I think where there's smoke, there's fire. I believe they pretty much leaked he's basically contractually obligated to wrestle again at some point with his board of directors contract with
We
TKO.
honestly don't know that, though. That's all like
We
dirt
don't know.
sheet bullshit that people like to
There's no
think.
confirmation, but I'm saying there might be
Yeah,
some smoke with that. Where there's smoke, there's fire, possibly with that. I'm just saying. And his whole character is he's the final boss. Like he could be the
it
guy.
kind of makes sense when you think
It
about it.
makes
Like the
sense. It
final
makes
boss.
sense.
So if they're doing this to like just until he's ready and to play this whole thing out, and then they do make
And
TKO the
they
bad
showed him
guy.
again. They mentioned him again, Brand. Now and a couple weeks ago, we just talked about how he was a big old fat picture of him in the background while they're talking about family on
All
Monday
right.
Night Raw with Jimmy.
Yeah.
And CM Punk throwing digs at him, and Roman Reigns talking about his family. It could be setting up the stage for some interesting things to go down on night two.
Listen, they didn't mention they don't do this stuff for no reason. It's not a coincidence that McAfee mentioned him when he was doing he was the person that mimicked Austin and the Attitude
And
Era,
then
and
The
he talked
Rock,
about they did The Rock. And then
yeah,
Punk brought up The Rock as well and made fun of his
right,
Hollywood career. There's no way The Rock is going to let that go on set. I'm telling you, there's no way that's
right,
happening. The Rock
right.
cannot let that lie. There's no way in the world. I'm sorry. It just can't. If so, it's going to come. There will be some kind of payback for that. And it may be at Mania. Who knows? But
Yeah.
it could be the
So
next night on Raw. It depends on how they go with the storyline. But
yeah,
yeah, it's
it
going to be
depends on
very
where they
interesting to
go.
see what they do.
Yeah, it will be interesting, man. Man,
I know.
crazy couple days with WWE and pro wrestling, man. Good lord. So CM Punk does what he does. He's a savant on the mic. I was just wondering. I think a lot of people. Let's just do a little bit of ranking here. CM Punk is unquestionably one of the top mic workers of all time. We both can agree that, right? Agree with that.
100%.
I will say I was a little bit of a critic of his in the past. I always thought he kind of broke the fourth wall a little too much, but he can go toe to toe with anybody. His style is just like it's it's always anti-establishment, and he just he says off the wall shit, but it makes sense, and he's willing to go the extra. He's willing to go there while other people play it safe. That's it. He is a master at that, and he's able to really go against anybody on the mic. So for me, I think he's definitely top five all time. I'm sure that might anger people to hear that. Some people think he's top one. I get it. So if you think he's
Oh,
number one, I get it. But I think I was thinking about top five mic workers of all time, and I love doing things like this. So I just want to say I got and I'd love to hear what you got, Brando, off the top of your head. And there's a lot of great mic workers. I got Chris Jericho, no order. This is like my
yeah.
top five, no order. Chris Jericho, The Rock, Jake the Snake Roberts, CM Punk. Am I missing anybody? I'm trying to think. There's a lot. There's a lot of good ones.
Wait, who'd you name so
I
far? Jericho?
I said Jericho, The Rock, Jake the Snake Roberts, CM Punk, and I want to say Ric Flair. But there's a
Yeah.
lot of other people I didn't mention. There's
Yep.
Stone Cold Steve Austin. There's a lot of people today would say John Cena. John Cena is worthy of the mentioning of being considered up there. There's Scott Hall, always who was actually really great
Uh,
on the mic. There's Mick Foley. Oh man, Mick Foley. Man, it's tough. It's tough to do this, man. Shit.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's very hard to put a list.
Oh, it's very
At the
hard to
top of
do
my
this.
head,
Mick
if
Foley's
you
up
gave
there.
if you just ask me to rattle off a couple of names, Punk would definitely
Yeah.
be on there.
Roddy
Jericho would be on
Piper.
there.
Roddy
Rock
Piper.
Rock would be on there. Yep. Yeah, duh. And Dusty Rhodes,
Dusty Rhodes. Yep, Dusty Rhodes. Of course, Dusty
Flair.
Rhodes, the
I
American
mean,
Dream.
it's hard to rank people, but yeah, I mean, you put him in that company. That's all he needs. He probably
Punk's
would
in
care
that
about.
company. There we go.
Yes.
Punk, of all those
Yes.
great mic workers we just mentioned. Oh yeah, Randy Savage. Randy Savage is another one.
Randy Savage is more like a he was good on mic, but he was also very little. What's the word I want to use? Like wild, like very
Yeah,
yeah.
he was
It wasn't
sick.
more. Yeah, he was decent. I would have put him in that category with those guys. I really
What?
wouldn't. I would
Oh
no, I would
man,
not.
I don't know about that, bro, but he, CM Punk is in the pantheon of greatest mic workers that ever lived. We'll just keep it at that for sure. And
Yeah, I'll tell
there's
you
even
what
more
though.
people. I think MJF is getting up there actually.
Oh,
I'm a
MJF's
big
up
fan of
there.
MJF.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking non-WWE, yeah, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
100%. My
yeah.
guy.
The Miz is he's lower. He'll be lower on the list for me, but I think he's over the years been pretty consistent on the mic.
Yeah, I'd agree with
Um,
that.
there's a lot, but of the ones of all those people that like stand out because of their particular attributes, The Rock, he was catchphrase heavy, but those catchphrases like transcended like the sport, and he had crowd control like no other. Ric Flair, to be the man, you got to beat the man. Classic swag, fits his gimmick completely. CM Punk, pipe bombs, anti-establishment, really insane shoot style interviews, saying insane insults during during promos. Chris Jericho and Rock in particular, they could be funny, they could be serious, they were just charismatic. Another one, I just thought of another one, man. Arn Anderson. He's one of my most underrated wrestlers and mic
That's good.
workers of all time. I always thought Arn Anderson doesn't get his due there. I always thought he was a pretty damn good mic worker too.
Scott
So shout out
Steiner.
to him.
No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what'd you say?
Scott Steiner.
Entertaining as hell. Entertaining as hell. But
No,
once
I was
again,
joking. No, he was not.
yeah,
No,
of
not at
course.
all.
See, CM Punk is definitely, he's definitely up there. He's in the conversation of among the Mount Rushmore and greatest mic workers in North American professional wrestling history for sure.
I'll tell you another guy we haven't mentioned, and that's Dusty's son, Cody. Cody's been pretty great, damn good on the mic too. So
He's gotten much better, but you think he's among the best ever?
no. But I'm saying I mean, you can then I
He's
put him like up
improved.
with their like I put him in there with like Miz category and like up to
Okay.
that
Yeah,
yeah, I would have put him in top
yeah,
five. But look at what he's done in WWE. Like his promos are good. Like last week's promo was the best promo he's ever cut in my
yeah,
opinion, and it was really good. And I think a good promo when you can feel the passion coming from somebody and you can feel it when what in your bones what they're saying. You're like, damn, I rock with that.
yeah,
And that's why
yeah.
Punk, to me. So what happened to Punk last night? There's something that happened to him that I was kind of surprised by when he came out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, go ahead. I wonder if I missed it. Go ahead.
When he first came out, he was getting what chance? He
Oh
was
yeah,
getting
yeah,
whatted.
yeah.
And
Yes, he
you know what he
was.
did? This is how good he's on the mic. He turned his what chance into CM Punk chance.
Yep.
And then after a while, they're chanting for Roman Reigns. What happened again? He turned them into CM Punk
CM Punk.
chants. That's
Yep.
why that motherfucker is such a wordsmith on the mic, and that's why it's very hard to say he's not top five or even top three. And if somebody even said number one, I might not disagree with them. Now,
Yeah.
that's not my opinion, but I'd be like,
Yeah.
dude, you got a good point there.
No,
I mean, that's very hard to do.
he's in the
That
discussion.
crowd
He's
was so
definitely
hot
in.
for Roman, and he
Yeah.
completely changed him like that.
Yeah. He's definitely in the discussion for sure. There is also, by the way, someone who I would have no problem saying is number one over all of these people. But he's not a pro wrestler. It's Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman,
Paul Heyman, I think
yeah,
overall has
Heyman's
been,
excellent.
he's excellent overall on the mic and has been for decades now. But he is not he's not a pro wrestler. But if you were to include managers in there, he skyrockets pretty high. So always love to have conversations like that. Thanks for your input, man. I appreciate it. We've had our discussions about CM Punk. I've had my criticisms and thoughts about him in the past. But no question, he's definitely one of the greatest mic workers that ever lived. I have to give him his props in regards to that. And for him to carry and make everybody talk, that's a gift. That's a gift that goes beyond being great in the ring, which Punk already is. So I understand. I understand why he has his fans. I used to say that Punk was the megastar that never was. I still, in some ways, believe that, but there's levels to this, people. He's one of the most over and biggest wrestlers, biggest stars that the industry has seen over the past like 25 years, easily. So
Yeah.
much props to him with that. Moving on, something else happened on Monday Night Raw last night. So last week, I talked about how Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer have been beating the shit out of each other during their feud. And that is exactly what continued to happen last night when Stephanie Vaquer shoved Liv Morgan into Roxanne Perez, but the result was it sounded pretty brutal. You heard the two, Liv and Roxanne's foreheads just smack against each other,
Yeah, that was
and
loud.
it was loud. And we were wondering, like, we were on the chat, we're like, oh, that didn't sound good at all. And then today, Liv Morgan revealed that she has a huge ass bump on her head. Roxanne Perez did as well, and now they're in concussion protocol. Brandon, could this match be in jeopardy by WrestleMania? We got 11 to 12 days before this goes on. So crazy stuff, man. Stephanie didn't
So
mean it, but look, they have been stiffing the shit out of each other the past couple weeks.
so I could just tell you my account of it. I was sitting there on the couch with my girlfriend and we're watching it, and when they bumped heads, I turned to her. I was like, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "I think she actually they hit their heads together for real." And then when we saw it in slow mo later on, we are like, "Oh my god, yeah, they did." I'm like, because when they hit heads, Roxanne looked like she was knocked out, like looked
Yeah.
legit knocked out. And
Mm-hmm.
then they get picked up, they get picked up and smashed into the TV on top of it. Like, oh my god, that was vicious. And
Vicious.
um, I don't think she's gonna miss the match. I mean, yeah, she's in concussion protocol. It seems like she's in good spirits. Liv is. I mean, she's taking pictures and smiling. Like, and I think if she was gonna miss Mania, I think if there's a threat of that, then maybe she wouldn't be taking pictures and smiling. But maybe she's just like
Right.
doesn't know yet. But have you seen pictures of Roxanne at all? Have they been released at all? Like, what does she look like? Because I feel like she might have got the worst of it, honestly.
Let's take advantage of technology and see. Let's see if how she. Let's see how Roxanne is
And
looking.
if for some reason Liv can't do Mania, you know who you throw right in there?
Who you throw in?
You just throw in Raquel.
Yeah.
Because
Yep. That would be
because
a great. That
if
would
you
be.
notice, they had a whole little storyline that kind of brewing there where she's like, "Oh, I got to talk to Roxanne in private. Do you mind?" And I was like, "Oh, what's that about?" And then Raquel seems kind of pissed that she left off. So you could have Liv get hurt, Raquel take her spot, win the title off of Steph, and then this creates the whole Liv Raquel rift, and then you got that whole storyline right there ready to go. I think they're going towards that anyway because I think
Yeah.
Liv is beating Steph, and you're gonna have Raquel turn on Liv anyway. So
Dude, I looked at Roxanne's Instagram, and she has a big old knot on her forehead too.
yeah,
It's pretty brutal. But she posted it, and they're both taking it in stride. I actually like when wrestlers don't get when something happens and they don't get like hurt or their or stuff's in the air, but they rock with it. I think
oh
that's
yeah,
actually
what they
pretty
used to
cool. I
do.
I love it when
Yeah,
when performers do that. So kudos to
so
them, and get well soon, y'all, and live tear down the house with Stephanie at WrestleMania. You both are great workers, and y'all are definitely gonna bring it in the ring. And I'm expecting that match to be pretty crazy, actually, to be pretty entertaining at this point. So
yeah, it's gonna be a good match. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah,
More
man.
than I can say for the other women's title match because that's gonna be Jerusalem show. But
The
okay, so
annual dig at Jade Cargill by Chris Brandau.
no one seems interested in that match. If you notice the crowd on Thursday the other night didn't care,
Yeah.
and then what the hell was she wearing Monday night? What was that outfit she had on? My girlfriend's like she looks like a giant loofah. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's just
Hey
something's
man,
not
Jade
clicking.
Cargill can do what she wants when she wants. She can wear what she wants. I think Jade Cargill is awesome, and that's my opinion. That I think she's a great powerhouse. She still has some growing in ring to do, but she serves being a powerhouse well. Her attitude, I think they're going to surprise. I think her and Rhea's a great worker. I think
Right,
that
yeah, Rhea could definitely carry her to a decent match.
they will
100%.
have a decent match. They will have a decent match. So
Now we can get into our predictions later, but I truly believe Rhea needs to win. I think Jade needs to lose the title, go back, have some more experience, get some more feuds under her belt, just get more experience. I just think her first title run was like a trial, and I think if she can get better, great. I really think they did a disservice of it for not bringing her to NXT through NXT first. I really think they just bringing her up just because of her look and everything was a bad idea. But I get it. She has a very unique look. She's just a powerhouse. But yeah, I just don't think that's right. And I do think maybe if Rhea does win the title, maybe Io Sky turns on her.
well, that's that. I wouldn't mind that. I think the
I have a
whole
feeling something like that is brewing. I don't know why.
the EO Rhea sisterhood, in my opinion, might need to run its course. I
Well,
liked
that's
it
how
more when they were.
friendly. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
in
yeah,
wrestling
yeah.
world, when everyone's this close as a friend, at some point there's going to be a fracture, and there's something's going to happen where
You know what I
I can see
wouldn't
it. I can already
mind?
see it now. Rhea wins, and then Io turns on her and says she can blame her for why she got her ass kicked last week,
Yeah.
last night. As simple as
You know
that.
what? I would like Rhea to turn heel. I know the crowd might not go with it, but I would not mind if they attempted. I wouldn't mind seeing Rhea heel again, to be honest with you. I think
I
EO
agree, but I
is a
don't
great
think
face.
I think
I
Io
think she'd be
turning
a
heel
great
makes
face.
more sense in this situation if Rhea
I
wins the
got you.
belt. Because then
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
she can be just like want the belt and like I want the belt and you've never beaten me, and that's the
Yeah,
story you can
which she
tell is
hasn't.
Rhea's never beaten her. So and if Rhea
Yeah.
finally obviously will beat her, I would assume, but maybe not.
Mhm.
But
That could be a big program for SummerSlam for sure.
absolutely,
Yeah. With that said, moving along, Raw ended last night with and we're not quite done with Raw yet, by the way. Just gonna go to the next marquee matchup in WrestleMania. Everyone's excited for Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar. They meet up and all hell breaks loose. Crowd is just amped. It was revealed today that it's gonna open. It's gonna open night. I believe it's gonna open night 2
perfect
of
spot for it.
Russell. Say it again.
Perfect spot.
You think it's good to open?
I do. Here's the thing: if you're
Okay.
not last, don't you want to be first?
Yeah,
Get
I
the
do
crowd
like the high
excited.
foot match. I
Imagine
do like the
WrestleMania
high foot
starting,
match.
and all you hear is Brock's music hits. Everyone's crowded, and then you hear Oba's. People are going to be so fired up
Yeah, that's
after night
fair.
one and night two. Opening isn't bad anymore. Everyone think opening was bad. It's not. It's
No,
your
no, no,
segment.
no. I think opening's great. I think opening's great. I mean, one of my favorite opening
Here's another thing too.
matches at Mania. One of my favorite opening matches at Mania a long time ago. It's the 25th anniversary of Mania X7, by the way. Chris Jericho versus Regal. Like that match set the whole tone for the event. Like I think that the opening match is a very
Yes,
underrated, you
but
know.
it's not on that level
No, 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 no. It's not on that level. I'm just saying that, like at the
I get what
time,
you're
it's
saying
that
though.
no, yeah. I'm saying it was the Intercontinental Championship match, I believe, and like it's back then, and I'm saying that like it's good to amp the crowd up, and sometimes being the opener can like really pay dividends and set the tone for the entire event, and they're gonna tear down the house. But Brandon, I'm a little worried, man. I'm a little worried. I think you said something a couple weeks ago and last week Brock is barely getting any offense in. It's all Oba. And that tells me there could be a very, very real chance that Oba is not winning at WrestleMania. And I think that is a drastic mistake, depending on how they do it. But Brock has barely, if any, offense at all. It's like Oba's dominating. Brock has no chance. You never see Brock as an underdog. He's looking like the underdog in this. And that tells me all I need to know. I would not be shocked if I think Oba should dominate Brock and win, and just like I said,
In a
strike
very
while
real
the iron's
way.
hot. But there's no way that's happening. There's no way. There's no way. Like especially they just planted the seeds with Gunther and Brock, which we're gonna get into. I I don't know. What do you think? Because I don't know if Oba's winning this now. Unless, as you said, you did call this next week. Brock Lesnar needs to, just for some semblance of balance, needs to beat the unholy shit out of Oba. That's if that doesn't happen, there is no I can't see Brock Lesnar. I'm going to be very interested in what they do. I could either see
Something
him
has to
winning or
happen.
they do a double DQ or a draw, which pisses everybody off. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting how they book this one.
Yeah, I listen. I will say this though, if it being the opener, you know what else too? The first hours on ESPN, all eyes are going to be on Oba and Brock on ESPN. Remember that.
Yes.
This is different.
Yes.
So that they're showcasing this guy on national TV,
That's
and someone's
true.
gonna be like, "Oh, dude, this guy's amazing." Like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing with that situation. I think Oba's going to beat Brock. Maybe Brock's just like, yo, you know what? I want to make this kid look great. I want him to kick my ass all over the place and beat me. I really believe Brock would probably do that. I think if Brock
Mhm.
believes in you, he will make you look good, like I said.
Yeah.
Now, the problem, like you brought it up, though, they are hitting towards Brock versus Gunther. And I feel like if Brock's going to lose to Oba, how does that build up the Gunther match then? But maybe who knows? I don't know.
Brock
So
can
I
win the
guess
next
what's gonna
pay-per-view
happen,
against Ova. They always do that. Brock could win a couple weeks later at
or
Backlash Tampa.
they could. I don't think that helps Oba at all either. I think if Brock were to lose against Oba, he needs to go on a tear for like up into SummerSlam and destroy everybody, every name, every big name, every person, just
He
destroy
could do
them.
that. He can go on a rampage.
But then again,
Yeah.
or he could just disappear till SummerSlam and then have fight Gunther. Most likely, what's going
Mhm.
to happen, but we'll see. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow or next week because, like you said, if something doesn't go down where Brock gets the better of Oba at least a little bit, then yeah, you should worry that Brock is going to win on the following week at Mania because
Just
I,
saying.
I don't know any booking in wrestling where one guy just kicks this guy's ass the whole time and then WrestleMania comes and he kicks his ass. That guy usually loses. Case in point, do you remember when Brock and Undertaker faced off in a contract signing, and Undertaker stabbed him with the pen and beat his ass. And no one even
Right.
thought the question that Brock was going to beat Undertaker because they were so in their head about the streak. And what
Yes.
happened? Brock beat the streak. That should have been the
Yep.
first red herring that Brock was ending the streak right there. They could say all they
Fair
want
point.
about. They could say all they want about. Oh well, the decision was made that day. That's bullshit. That decision was probably made a while ago back in Vince's head.
Like weeks
And
before,
then
months before.
they can say what they want, and
You think we're being worked there a little bit?
maybe Vince went back and forth and was like, "All right, I'm going to ultimately leave it up to you. If you want to do it, you can do it." And he did. So I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, man.
yeah, I would worry about that. But you know what? Regardless of what happens in that match, I don't think it matters. I think Oba's so over that even if you were to lose Brock, I don't think it would hurt him that much as we initially thought. Especially if he comes back the next night and just absolutely wreck shop on Raw or SmackDown or whatever, wherever he may be. Or if he
Yeah,
loses
man.
by like the various means. If Oba were to lose by something that like protects him, that's where I think they would go with that.
Yeah, definitely, man. So that's going to be, that is definitely, you can argue it's the most anticipated match of Mania. At worst, at least outside of Punk versus Roman, probably. It's in the top 3 most anticipated matches of Mania, easily. So yeah, I'm thinking like on Monday Night Raw, there there's been with all the, we were talking about TKO earlier, and it is the road to Mania. And when it's WrestleMania, we usually see a lot of celebrities getting involved. Lately, we've seen Jelly Roll. Even if you don't, if they're not celebrities or influencers, I should say. Logan Paul's been involved, although he's more like with the roster now. So I think he's more than just like, he's an actual member of the WWE roster at this point. So, uh, I Show Speed, who's one of the biggest influencers in all of social media. Lil Yachty showed up, and he got a little. There was a lot of criticism about all that, and a lot of backlash from fans about like just too much inclusion of celebrities. And I was thinking it's pretty normal for WrestleMania. Like there's always celebrities at WrestleMania. At WrestleMania 11, I mean they've even main evented. Bam Bam Bigelow took on LT, Hall of Famer from the NFL, legendary player LT Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania 11. Mike Tyson was a huge part, I mean monstrous part of making the Attitude Era and elevating, yes, elevating Stone Cold Steve Austin in terms of that platform in 1998 for WrestleMania 14. Mike Tyson was the biggest boxer on the planet, and he was involved. Like that, Floyd Mayweather versus the Big Show.
Can I stop you for a second? You're
There's just
talking
been
about
plenty.
athletes that actually can wrestle or can fight, not these little skinny rappers that have no business being in a wrestling ring. And the fact that Travis Scott got away with murder, basically, puncturing Cody's eardrum and not getting a receipt for that is crazy to me. And I do like the fact that Cody and both Punk did say in their promo about McAfee getting a receipt file, an actual receipt. So they're not talking about a wrestling move. They want to punch him in the fucking face. So
Right.
these celebrities, they're everywhere. They have no business being this prevalent. It's crazy how many they're putting out there for us to see. Like
They
Little
might be
Yachty,
going overboard right
like
now,
Little
I guess.
Yachty the other night, I was like, dude, this guy's so fucking annoying. I don't know if he's supposed to be, but you're trying to get Trick over, and people are like, oh, they're still chanting, whoop that Trick. I don't know what's going on with that storyline. We got to get to that in a minute, but you got Show Speed. You're crowbarring him into a match now. You had Jelly Roll the other day in a match. It's like, dude, when did we become the celebrity wrestling league? When did that happen? I don't mind the
Yeah.
celebrity here and there. I know Mania usually has like a special celebrity match. Like we've seen Snooki wrestle and we've seen
Yes.
this person wrestle, but this is way too much, man. They need to like pump their brakes. WrestleMania's always included celebrities, but they're usually not wrestling. Usually they're just there like guest ring announcer.
Special
Back in the day
attraction.
yeah, best guest commentary or guest
Referee.
yeah, something like they don't need to be in the actual match. They don't need to wrestle. I'm sorry. Like props to Jelly Roll. He trained hard and everything. Bad Bunny did, but now they're like throwing like all these other people in here, and I'm just like I have no desire to watch that 6-man tag match with Show and the Usos and LA Knight and the Vision. I really have no
Division.
desire to see it. To me, I'd rather see a rematch for the tag titles, honestly.
Right.
But I guess they
Which we
feel
were just
bad that they
talking about
slighted
last
LA
week.
Knight. And I think the problem with that is LA Knight was slated to probably fight Bronson Reed, and him getting hurt kind of screwed them up. Like Braun Breaker getting hurt screwed them up with Seth, and we'll get to that in a minute as well. Um,
Right.
but yeah, we're kind of in a situation where just to stop with the celebrities, man. I don't need to see Show Speed wrestle, and if I see a little Yachty step in the ring, I'm gonna lose my shit because I hope Carmelo Hayes or whoever Sami Zayn kicks him right in his teeth.
I mean, I think that I definitely agree with a lot of what you're saying. This also could be a result of too many cooks in the kitchen, especially like we hinted at earlier. Like, maybe is Ari calling this in. What's going on? What's really going on now?
It's not. It's TKO as a whole. They just think that
See,
they don't understand how the wrestling business works. They just
right,
want
right,
to.
right.
They just
That's,
they
that's
think
what I was getting
celebrities
at.
equal
That's
ratings. And let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think
what's up.
anybody when McAfee showed up was like, "Oh, I got to get WrestleMania tickets now. I got to go see
No,
WrestleMania now"?
it might have been
No.
the
So
opposite.
what did it do for you? It did nothing for them except for piss a
Yeah,
lot of people off and like scratch your head like, what is going on here? Now they could
yeah.
be playing a long game and making it interesting. I'm giving it time. I will wait back and see how Mania develops and what happens at Mania. Maybe I'll change my mind completely. But right now, no.
Yeah, it also screams that like they're just really trying to connect with the new media, like the social media landscape and all that, and really trying to saturate that market for the biggest show of the year. And I see what they're doing, appearing on streams and getting those influencers involved with the product while also doing the traditional celebrities like going for a jelly roll or what have you. But I do see what you're saying. It's getting a little much. It's like multiple matches now, multiple occurrences into the biggest show of the year. A couple fine, I get it, but now it might be a little too much. But before we started, well, while we were talking about that, you mentioned a couple things. Seth freaking Rollins, he's taking on Gunther. A lot of injuries happened on the road to WrestleMania. Now I think a lot of things have shifted in terms of like who's facing who, and Seth Rollins is back and he's cleared to wrestle and he's going to be taking on Gunther, and that still kind of links earlier on in what we talked about with him possibly needing needing a favor, and that's going to go to Brock Lesnar possibly for SummerSlam. Who knows? But Seth Rollins versus Gunther all happened very quickly. Could this be a match that is just a good old fashioned great wrestling match, or you think it's just going to be kind of like a a throwaway match? What do you think?
I don't think it's gonna be a throwaway match at all. So I think
Yeah.
what happened was this. I think it's kind of apparent what went down is they're hoping Braun Breaker is gonna be ready. Once he got injured, and they knew once they figured out he wasn't gonna be ready, they had to pivot. And the only person that makes sense for Seth at that point that would be a good match that on the roster was Gunther, because they can weave this into a storyline where, as we saw, Gunther acted on his own. So I kind of hinted to this last time where I said, Heyman was going to hire him as a gun to take out Seth, and then in return, he was going to give him Brock Lesnar's final match, possibly. What I think is happening here is the storyline they're weaving is Gunther acted on his own because he wants something from Heyman, and he wants that last match. Because if you remember in the back last night, he said, "Oh, you owe me more than a thank you."
Yep.
So to me, that tells me that Gunther wants Brock, and he wants his final match at SummerSlam. He wants to be the one to retire him because he is the career killer. So this could lead a couple things. Can Heyman side with Gunther and turn on Brock, and that's how Brock is shown to exit? Very possible. But
Very
the
possible.
Seth, the Seth and Gunther thing's gonna be interesting. I don't know how you book that. Who wins? I feel like that's going to be that match is going to be awesome though. I mean, they had one match before, but they were in totally different places when they had that match. Now this is a
Yeah.
bigger match, and now that they have a little storyline behind it, I'm for it. Obviously, we thought it was going to be Ray versus Gunther, and then we heard Ray was hurt. Well, obviously Ray's perfectly fine now because he's wrestling in that awesome ladder match, which is
That's
gonna
gonna be great. That
probably
ladder match is gonna be
that's gonna be a
fire.
crazy ass ladder match. I expect Penta to retain because I think they're just gonna build Penta up to be this awesome Intercontinental Champion going forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We have to see what happens with Gunther. If Seth were to lose, I can see Seth losing because I could see Braun Breaker making his return and costing Seth the match there, and that's how
And
you
they
set
and
up
that
Breaker versus Seth going
yeah.
forward.
Yep, and that leads on to that feud. And it'd just be interesting how last year Seth Rollins has to swerve and joins up with Heyman, and this year Heyman, costs Seth Rollins a W and Seth Rollins returns. So we'll see if that actually happens. So a lot happening in the road to WrestleMania on this is like Super Bowl season in pro wrestling. WWE is more than just WWE on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. There's also NXT. NXT's biggest PLE of the year, biggest event of the year, Stand and Deliver just happened, and a lot of fallout from that event. We have a new NXT champ. We have a new women's champ. A lot happened. So, Brandon, this is you're our resident NXT guy. Would love to hear your thoughts about what happened at NXT Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, let's start with the title match because that match was a great match. It was action packed, a lot of hard hitting, but I don't know what Hendry lost, obviously, and I feel like he's going to the main roster soon. It makes sense to put the belt on Tony D, and I didn't think they were going to put it back on Ricky Saints because I feel like him and Eli have a have a good feud going. Start just brewing. I think that's going to be very entertaining, and then eventually at some point they're going to I think it'd even take that to the main roster if they really wanted to. But I feel
Right.
like Hendry's going to go to the main roster at the Mania, and they're going to have Tony D keep the belt for a while and just feud with whoever. Probably those two as well. So yeah, I think that made perfect sense there. In terms of some of the other matches, we had Johnny Wrestling and and Bourne just tear the house down. They were having an awesome match, and you know it was good to see people cheering for Johnny Wrestling. I feel like Gargano
Johnny Wrestling.
got a really bad deal when he came up to the main roster, and then he lost Ciampa, and it was just like, oh, what's this guy gonna do? I hope this is the beginning of a run in NXT that's just gonna help the other talent get over. And I'm tired of the mopey Johnny, so hopefully that's done with. We'll see. We'll see. I guess we'll find out very soon, as soon as Friday with on SmackDown.
Exactly.
And then you had the women's title match. Man, what a match that was! I'll tell you what. I know I've said it time and time again, but Lola Vice, Kendall Gray, and JC Jane all can go. And Kendall Gray is they found a really good next superstar in terms of wrestling ability. And I'm not going to take credit for this, but someone on Busted Open mentioned this, and I believe Bully Ray backed it and said that's exactly who she reminds me of. She reminds you of a female Kurt Angle. That's how good she is in the ring.
Woo!
That's what they said,
High
and it makes
praise.
perfect sense. Yeah, that's high
High
praise, man.
praise.
So I thought maybe they're gonna put the title on her, but I'm kind of glad they gave it to Lola. I feel like Lola has earned that shit. She's fought so hard the past 3 years being on that roster, and we've seen her just grow as a complete wrestler inside the ring. So yeah, what a match! So if you haven't seen that match, go watch it. That to me was one of the best NXT matches I've seen in a long time. Maybe the best women's NXT match. And if I'm saying that, that's saying a lot because we've
Wait,
seen some
wait, wait,
really good
wait. Over
NXT women's
Sasha
matches.
Banks versus Bailey? It's
I said
over
one of
that?
them, and I'm saying in a long time, yes, it's
Okay,
up there
okay,
in that category.
okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Wow.
And in terms of pure wrestling ability, the women are getting more and more athletic by
They're
the year, and
insane,
by
dude.
it's
They're
crazy,
insane.
man.
It's crazy. It's amazing, for sure.
Yeah, so that match was great. The other match was obviously Zarya and Sol Ruka. They told a nice story in the ring. That feud's far from over, I think, but Sol did beat her. Finally caught her with the Soul Snatcher. The third time was a charm. That was great storytelling. I just think Soul is just made to be coming to the main roster. Maybe not right away because I think they want to give her a title run soon. So I think they want to give her at least one title run. I mean, she said she's going for the title. It'd be interesting to see where that goes. But I could see them just saying, you know what, just bring her to the main roster. She's ready. But who else? What other things were happening on NXT that we can talk about?
Tatum
I
beat
think that
Blake
was.
Monroe.
Oh yeah, that's exactly Tatum Paxley, another one who's gotten over. She's been there for 5 years, and she's finally getting her flowers, and I love it. She's awesome, and there is something interesting about her character that is going on the show, and I think they could do something really cool with this. I've noticed that her and Shiloh are really close, and they work really well together because they're both like quirky and weird, and I feel like if they were to make them like a power couple, that would be an interesting storyline. Kind of like a throwback to the old Daphne and Crowbar days in WCW that they played off well each other. It kind of reminds me of that. So
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. So yeah, I don't know where Blake Monroe goes from here. I mean, she's just taken lots of L's lately. I don't know. Maybe they could just put her up to the main roster. Honestly, I think she could. She had enough time in AEW where she was seasoned, unlike Jade, that she could actually wrestle, and she had
Oh
to
my
start in AEW.
gosh.
She had to start in AEW, and honestly, I think she can go to the main roster and rock with Tiffany and all them, and be able to wrestle perfectly fine. So that's someone that they did it right with. They made her debut in NXT. She got enough time on there. I think with the whole thing with when she got legit injured and they took and lost the title because she was being kicked out. Derailed her run in NXT as champion and everything, and then it kind of never went really back to it. So yeah, just put her to the main roster. She'll be fine.
Yeah. NXT was absolutely on fire with Stand and Deliver, and it's just the amount of talent in NXT, and you know, it's just out of this world, and it's just mind-boggling, man. You think about the wrestlers you're seeing today, and then how much they've improved athletically in many ways, especially on the women's side. It's just been like insane. No shade to past pioneers at all. At all. I'm just saying if they wouldn't be these wrestlers today doing the stuff that we're talking about in NXT, they wouldn't be anywhere if not for the pioneers of, back in the day who they looked up to. So let's just make that clear. But it's like crazy some of the shit this group of talent is doing. It's definitely if anyone watching this hasn't checked out NXT, just check it out. You're in for a treat. It's almost like a different product than what the main roster is offering. Brando, we've been to stand and delivers that we felt were like better than WrestleMania or like on par with like WrestleMania. Like we've been
Yeah,
to.
absolutely.
They
And
really bust their ass over there.
I do like the fact that they're buffering it between Mania now and giving it a couple weeks so
Yeah.
they get their
Yep.
own spotlight. Because I just remember going to these standard deliveries and be like, man, I wish there was more people here. I mean, there was a good amount of people. Like, but just imagine if it wasn't on the same day as Mania, because that's a lot of running around and doing one day. And I
Yep.
think WWE realized that, and we're like, let's move it to its own location, get its own spotlight, and I think it worked out perfectly fine,
Agreed.
and it worked out great for them in St. Louis. So hopefully
Yeah.
they continue to do that every year. I don't know if they just did that because how early Vegas starts everything, and it's
Hmm.
WrestleMania started at 6 p.m. this year, so it's pretty damn early. It's like 3 p.m. their time, so
Yeah.
the stand deliver would have to been on at like 8 o'clock in the morning, I think, for people to be able to deal with that. So yeah, I just hope that they take from this and it's like this is what we're doing from now on. This is the blueprint. Stand and Deliver is going to be its own show, separate day, 2 weeks ahead before Mania to get people time to like decompress and not have to worry about running around and going to all these shows on one day.
I want to just give a shout out to the greatest in ring performer of all time, the producer of NXT, Shawn Michaels, who has had a
Oh,
little
I
bit
forgot
of an
about him.
online social media renaissance because of his collaboration with Sexy Red, and a big meme movement happened, a big challenge happened with everyone with HBK talking about how her new song made him feel like prime HBK, and a lot of people online were giving Shawn Michaels, 97 Shawn Michaels in particular, my favorite version of Shawn Michaels ever, my favorite era of Shawn Michaels, giving him his flowers. Everyone dancing, saying, feeling like 97 Shawn Michaels, feeling like prime Shawn Michaels. And seeing HBK out there, he's on the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast with Carmelo Anthony. He's doing all this press for Stand and Deliver. Just seeing people be reminded of HBK's greatness and what he meant to pro wrestling was awesome for me to see. That said, as I'm saying this with a HBK painting in the back of in the background right now, he was on Carmelo Anthony's podcast and he was talking about how everyone was wondering how come one of the biggest dream matches of all time, HBK versus The Rock, never happened, and there's reasons for that that are well known in pro wrestling circles. Anyone can just look it up. It's been said by pro wrestlers. It's been, Bret Hart in particular talked about it. It's been well documented. And when HBK was asked the question, he almost kind of brushed it aside. And I was like, "Come on, HBK, come on, man. We know it's okay. We know what happened. It's great that him and The Rock are talking now, but two things are true. They overlapped. Like The Rock's big prime was between 1990, like he was there in 96 as a low card. HBK was still there, but Rock was so low on the card that he didn't, HBK was the main eventer at that time. And backstage drama, backstage things, politics were happening during that time too, that he didn't want to go into respectfully. But when Rock rose to main event between 1998 and 2003, that's when HBK was primarily gone. By the time HBK returned, Rock was already kind of like 1 foot out the door, part time status in WWE, and it just never materialized. Rock left for 7 years in HBK, then retired. So it's one of the biggest dream matches that everyone would have loved to see because of their backstage politic past and what happened between them two and Triple H and everything like that. Everyone once wanted to see that match because the promos would have been amazing and everything like that. So there also was the one brief time where they were both in the corporation and things looked pretty fine and they were being professional with that and they had some good moments, a couple good moments with that too. In that interview, I think I noticed that other wrestling creators and other wrestling fans were being like, "All right, HBK, we know what happened. You're kind of lying a little bit, but we give you a pass because you're the GOAT." So just wanted to add that, Brandow. With that said, let's get to AEW. A certain person who was a huge fan of HBK returned to AEW.
Who could that be? Who are you
Who
talking
could that
about?
be? Chris Jericho made his
Oh,
return
that
to
guy.
AEW. Everyone thought he was going to go to WWE, and he just went right back to AEW. And he came back in Winnipeg, his hometown. And he's what is he calling himself, the Cornerstone now, Brandow?
I don't know what he's calling himself. I mean, I just I'm confused by this move of him to come back because what's left for him to do in AEW? There's like I don't know. Like, is he gonna feud with younger guys and try to
Yeah,
get them over? But because like honestly, there's really nothing left for him to do. I thought him coming back to WWE would have made sense because he could have just went on a quick little run for 6 months and then retired.
yeah,
And maybe that's still in the cards for him at some point. I don't know how long this Jericho's signed for a contract with AEW. It may be only for another year, But maybe it's because he's seen the way things are getting booked in WWE. He was like, I don't want to do this. No, this is not. I want to control my own destiny here. And if
I can
it
see
was going to
that.
be a very yeah, he's very protective of his character and his creative. I think because he's gotten a taste of that in AEW and he doesn't want to let that go.
Exactly.
He has a lot more freedom with his band and everything, and I get it. I just don't know what he's going to do in AEW. He came out and what he said, "I'm back. Oh, I'm back," and he left. It was like, oh, okay, cool. I was excited because I'm a Jericho fan, but I just hope they have something planned for him, something that's going to be cool because his last run was very mediocre, and I think it's because like a lot of people didn't like the learning tree. But
Learning Tree was all
I,
right. He could do so much
but
better than that. Oh,
but I think because the people he was working with too in the learning tree, they're kind of like Big Bill and I forget the other guy's name. To me, it was very like whatever, and then it just never really went anywhere. And as bad as that was, it still wasn't as bad as some of these other gimmicks and that we see on other characters and other in WWE, AEW. It still wasn't that bad. It was still just not Jericho standards to me. But you mentioned to me before how you thought that the crowd wasn't as fired up to see him back. And I had to tell you, like, I get it because I thought they were fine. He came out, they were singing his song Judas like old times, like everything was good. I think because he's been in AW, it's not like he was coming back to WWE where he's been gone for so long. He was only gone for a year and a half. So it was a nice surprise for the crowd, and I think they were like genuinely happy to see him there. But yeah, WWE would have been a huge, huge difference. But yeah, you just gotta keep that in mind that he's been gone for a year and a half. It's not like he's gone for a long time.
yeah. Yeah, I think I was a little underwhelmed by how the crowd was for Jericho, in my opinion, but I see based on how you kind of explained it from the AEW lens, how that makes sense. I have fair enough. I've been used to seeing Jericho getting some of the largest reactions in WWE history for years. So I was just like, I just felt that like he could have gotten more of a welcome for being such a legend and GOAT tier caliber wrestler that he is. So I think well, it should be interesting to see another legend. This is probably is this Jericho's last run? Maybe it probably is. Maybe one. It's coming soon. It's not. Is
Yeah,
he going to go much
absolutely.
longer? Probably. So I will. He's such a big figure in pro wrestling that I just feel like you have to pay attention to what he's doing, especially if he's nearing his end of his career. So it's been a pleasure to watch Chris Jericho over the years, and he's always adapting. Learning Tree, I wasn't the biggest fan of, but he always is doing something new and adding and evolving with his character and him in general. So we'll all be taking notice in regards to that. Uh, so with that said, I think I think we went through everything, man, that we wanted to touch. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention?
Now, in terms of AEW, the only other thing I do want to mention is MJF and Omega are going to be clashing soon.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
gonna be fire.
It's going to be a good match. I just think that no one thinks Omega's beating MJF. MJF isn't losing the title anytime soon. It would
Nope,
be
and
it
he
would be
shouldn't.
it would be really stupid of AEW to take that title off of MJF. He is their star. He is
Yeah,
the star. He is the
he's their
only
guy.
reason some people watch AEW right now.
Yep.
And that's just that. I mean, that's all I have to say about that. So
Yeah.
with WrestleMania season being around, it's kind of hard to like concentrate on everything else right now. I do glance at AEW here and there. I'll catch it on Wednesday, but there's not really much to talk about in terms of what's going on. My attention is fully directed at WWE right now, and some people
Super
may
Bowl
not like
season,
that, but it
Mania
is what it
season.
is.
It's wrestling Super Bowl, man. So a lot of attention is on the biggest player in the game right now in terms of promotion. But AEW is doing their damn thing too. So I love to see it all. So with that said, I just want to tell everybody that you will be seeing more of Brandow and I this month, seeing and hearing. We will be having a special crew talk episode next week that is all about WrestleMania and the predictions and the storylines and all that's going on. And then our next episode is going to be basically a fallout episode in regards to what happened at WrestleMania. So a lot coming on in the coming weeks, a lot going on, and excited to bring all that to y'all. And thanks for all the support. We are just getting started, and we are ready to go for the road to WrestleMania and everything else that is involved in the lovely world of pro wrestling. With that said, thanks to everyone for tuning in and listening. Just JB, aka Yoldhead, signing off, and Chris Brandow.
Yep. We'll see you soon. Peace.
See y'all soon. Peace. Have a good one.